Hey y'all, it's Callie and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the Do I Have That Book tag. First I just wanted to mention something. I know I didn't post on Thursday. I think I'm going to start posting Mondays and Saturdays, or maybe even Tuesdays and Saturdays. I just have a lot going on right now and have a lot going on for the foreseeable future. So I'm gonna go down to 2 posts a week so I can make sure I'm giving you guys the best quality on time as well. So that's just a little FYI. So I will only be posting 2 times a week now instead of 3, but I am hoping to still have some really fun videos for you guys. But today I'm going to be doing the Do I Have That Book tag or challenge. I think it's a challenge. I saw this on A Clockwork Readers and I just thought it would be so much fun. I am really looking forward. I started filming like half of this yesterday, so it's a little bit of cheating. I'm not gonna time myself like many people do. I'm just gonna answer the questions which I have on my phone. The first one is, do you have a book with deckled edges? I'm gonna try to find a different one than the one I chose yesterday for as many as possible. I have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, which has deckled edges. This is supposed to be similar in Six of Crows, meaning that there is a heist kind of deal, a journey that 6 or a small group of people are going on. Other than that, I've heard there are no similarities or little similarities, but this I got in an owl crate and it's just a really pretty shiny book and I can't wait to read it at some point. Question 2, do you have a book with 3 or more characters on the cover? I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This has 5 people on the cover. I believe it is the mom and then the 4 daughters. This is a classic. It is really just about a family. It's 4 girls and their mother while their father is away fighting in the Civil War, I believe. And it's just kind of their everyday lives and struggles and just how they're living in this really controversial time, I guess. It doesn't really have much of the controversy, it's just just their time living in long time ago. Question 3, do you have a book based on another fictional story? I have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is obviously a Cinderella retelling. This is a sci-fi, so it's set in the future of America kind of, where people can become cyborgs if they lose a function. So if somebody loses a leg, they can become part cyborg, which would give them that ability again. They've started using this kind of as a way to prolong life and things like that. But being a cyborg is also kind of looked down upon, so it's just kind of the interesting mix. And there's also this kingdom on the moon that they have to deal with, and they're supposed to be really evil people. And it is a Cinderella retelling with that kind of spin on it. The main character, Cinder, is a little mechanic, and it is a very cute story. Question 4, do you have a book with a title that is 10 letters long? I definitely do, but I'm going to try to find another one. I have Unbecoming by Jenny Downham. This is a generational story between a grandmother, her daughter, and her granddaughter. I don't know what it's about, but the cover says 3 women, 3 generations, 3 secrets. It looked really intriguing and the cover is kind of interesting. Really cute, kind of showing the generations with the different hairstyles. I'm really intrigued about this one. I've never heard of it before. I haven't heard any buzz around it, so I'm interested to see how it'll go. Question 5, do you have a book that starts and ends with the same letter? I have Specials by Scott Westerfeld. This is book 3 in the Uglies series. I believe this is the official last one because I think it's a trilogy, and then there's a book called Extras which has some short stories and just extra stories. And I believe this one is the last one. I know this is the really gross old one, but I got it for free so I can't complain. I'm not sure exactly what this series is about, but I have all of the series so I can binge them very soon. Question 6, do you have a mass market paperback? I definitely do. Let's get one. I have here The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I don't know anything about this. I know my mom read this a really long time ago. This is her book. I got it from down there where I keep a bunch of classics and just more books that I don't necessarily feel the need to read straight ahead that also aren't my books personally. I believe most of them are not. And so this is a prime example. I just figured, why not read it? I've heard it's popular. I remember her saying it was really good. It's gonna be really hard to read, but it's like a really floppy mass market paperback, so I'm not that mad about this one. Question 7. Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? I looked yesterday and I do not, that I know of. I have a whole bunch of books and I believe that all of them are written by the author that is written on the cover, but I also don't know much about authors who use pen names other than the obvious ones like Lemony Snicket and Robert Galbraith being J.K. Rowling, so I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think so. Question 8. Do you have a book with the character's name in the title? I found out that I actually have quite a few. This is one that I don't talk about a lot, but I have Remembering Everly by J.L. Berg. This is part of a duology called the Lost and Found series, although there might be more. I just have the first two, and this is a story. I really loved this one. I read it from my school's library and then ended up buying both books so I could read them and have them. These were so good. It was this whole story. It's a romance story where the girl she's removed herself from a bad situation because her ex-boyfriend was in a coma for years, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and he thinks that they're still together, and it's all of the feelings coming back, and it's just very interesting. There is trigger warnings for abuse, not necessarily physical, but more psychological, and it was just really interesting. I absolutely loved these two. Question 9. Do you have a book with 2 maps in it? I found one basic one yesterday, but I'm going to see if I can find another one. I'm going to go with Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This one has the map of Ketterdam, but it also has, right before it, the map for just the land that they live in. It's kind of like the world map. But yeah, so this one has 2 maps. This is the sequel to Six of Crows, which is a widely popular series. It's following a heist with 6 main characters, and the first one is a heist and the second one is kind of the aftermath and a continuation of these 6 characters on their adventures together. Question 10. Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? I most definitely have quite a few. I'm going to choose Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I know this was turned into a TV show, I think, but I'm not sure where it was turned into or really what this book is about at all. I know it follows 2 perspectives. I think it's one of those cool timeline stories. I'm really into those right now. I'm listening to Furyborn by Claire Legrand, which is kind of similar. I know this is a fantasy. I am super excited to get to this one. It's a chunk of a book. It's 800 something pages. And I'm super excited. The font is really tiny and the spacing is non-existent, so I'm super excited to get to this one still. Question 11. Do you have a book written by someone who was originally famous for something else? I'm not sure. Let's see. I do not actually think I have one. I'm not very well versed in authors and what they did before they wrote the books. If I follow an author, it's usually after I've read their books, so I don't really know a lot about their past or if they use pen names and such. So I don't know that I have one. I don't think so, but I kind of wish I did. That sounds really cool. 12. Do you have a book with a clock on the cover? This is so oddly specific. I don't think I have one. I do not have a book with a clock on the cover that I know of. I'm just trying to rack my brain. I didn't want to have to pull out 20 books to try and find one, but I don't think so. I know everyone uses the Night Circus, and I really want a copy of the Night Circus, but I don't have one, so that's kind of where I'm at there aren't a lot of books that have clocks on the cover that I can think of or know of, so that's a really intriguing question. Next question is, do you have a book of poetry? And I do not. I have read a few poetry collections, but I've read them through my school's library, so I do not personally have a copy, and I just generally am not the hugest fan of poetry. I find it really hard to decipher, and I'd rather just read a book where it tells me straight up what's going on instead of reading poetry where I have to kind of figure it out for myself. I know that's probably really bad, but it's kind of where I'm at. The next question is, do you have a book with an award stamp on it? I most definitely do, because I added most of these books to my collection recently, so it's not like I have all brand new books that don't have award stamps yet. The first one I saw was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and this has the Prince Award on it. I really want to get to this one. I love Laini Taylor's writing. Everybody loves this. This is about a boy, Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian, and he has always been obsessed with this weird, lost, forgotten city, the city of Weep, and he gets offered the chance to go on a journey to possibly find this city, and it's all about his journeys through that, I believe, and yeah. I'm super excited to get to this one. You have a book written by an author who has the same initials as you. I might be able to cheat the system because my name is Callie Smith, so I can use CS, but I go by my middle name, so I could use Sarah Smith, so I could use SS if I need to. But let's see first. I actually do not have a book that has an author with the same initials as me, either Sarah or Callie. There was surprisingly not a lot of names that had an S, and a lot of them did have an author with the first name B. So I do not have one. That's kind of surprising. I thought that would be an easy one considering. Next question is, do you have a book of short stories? I'm gonna probably cheat or not understand this one and just choose one anyway. I have Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maurice Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. This is a collection of short stories about Simon Lewis from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I think that counts. I'm always unclear between like a novella, a short story, things like that, but this might be totally wrong, but I'm gonna assume that this will count for that. This follows Simon after the events of City of Heavenly Fire, and it's really cute. I loved this one. Next, do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long? I'm almost 100% certain because I just read one and it was like 504 pages, I think. I found one that is really quick. I found Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the sequel to Cinder, but this one follows Little Red Riding Hood, and this one is 505 pages. Woohoo! I'm surprised at how quick I was to find this one. I knew I had read one recently, so that helped narrow it down a little bit, but that's a pretty tough challenge. 18. Do you have a book that was turned into a movie? I definitely do. I have Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. I love their short little stories. I can read these in about a day. They're usually 200-250 pages, and 2 of them have been turned into movies, this one and another one. I liked the movie for this one a lot better than I liked the book for this one, and it was the other way around for the other movie. But it was really cute in the movie form. The few changes they made really helped fix some of the issues I had with this. It was just so cute. I loved the movie. It's got Victoria Justice and this really hot dude and Alec from the Shadowhunters TV show, so I was not complaining during the movie. It was great. I loved it. I didn't like the book as much, but I still really enjoyed it. Their co-authored books are just really cute. Question 19 is, do you have a graphic novel? And I actually do. I have the Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. I got this in an Owl Crate box. It was so cute. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars because it's really short. It was like 60 pages, but it was just so adorable. I loved the art style. It was so sweet and somehow so diverse, and I just absolutely loved this one. It's the only one I have too. And then lastly, the challenge is, do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? And I most definitely do. This one is Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. This is actually a mother-daughter duo, and this seems to be like a magical realism story about a girl who likes to write. This is on my TBR for the month of April, but I'm not doing so hot in reading physical books, so we will have to see if I get to it. But I'm super excited. There's also art in this one, which is really cool. I am just super excited. It's the color, like there's different font colors too. It just seems like a lot of fun to read this one. So there you have it. That is the Do I Have That Book challenge. I had most, but there were 2 or 3 challenges that I didn't have books for, and that's just because I am still growing my collection and it will be in constant motion of switching and changing out books that I like and didn't like, and new books and old books, and it will just be a grand adventure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below which of the challenges was your favorite, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!